My name is Thomas Stump, and I'm kind of like a good-hearted guy, fun-loving guy. I joke around with people, like no worry in the world. I care about people. This is the best job for me. The kids here, they love me. They'll see me bussing around, and they'll hurry up and get the dirty plates to me. They love that. And I joke around with the people, and I've been with them for 24 years. So we get the regular customers come in, and they know me by now, and it's really been easy, really. And the job I do is really easy. It's hard work, but it's real easy. I had a nervous breakdown. I really wasn't doing too much drugs, mostly alcohol. I drank like 24 cans a night, and it just got to me, and I was having problems at work, and we moved back. I lived in Lexington, Kentucky for 6 years. And like I said before, I was in Eastern State Hospital, and they referred me to Pathways. And I like how they took care of me. They set me up with the doctor. Now, right now, they got me on the right medication. I'm not drinking any. It's been 14 years. And I'm going to a thing called TR. They call it therapeutic rehabilitation. I go down there twice a week. During the TR program, we cook a meal and everything, and I like to cook. And I cook the meals for 25 people.
So that's your favorite?
That's I figure you can either cook or clean. I'm not too good cleaning, so I'd rather cook. They help you an awful lot. They care about you. I know things are hard right now, but eventually you'll see the light. They do help you. They won't quit on you, even if you goof off and everything. They won't quit, but they're there to help you, and you may not know at the time, but they're there to help you.
My brother was Bobby Jean Joseph. He was 34 years old when he passed away, and he was an excellent brother. He was sick, and he needed help. And Pathways was one of the people that helped him. Really, the only, if you get right down to it. But if it weren't for Pathways, he wouldn't have had anywhere to go. And they always assigned him a social worker, and they came up and visited him and talked to Mom and helped my mom deal with him, which was a lot. They offered him a place to go. I mean, Bobby couldn't go around just anywhere. He could not take crowds, and he could not be around a bunch of people. He got real nervous. He said it made him really nervous. So it gave Bobby a place to go, to get out of the house, because everybody needs to go somewhere every day, because being locked up all the time in your home is not good at all for anybody. And he would go down there and he'd play pool and talk with the people down there. He had all kinds of friends down there, all kinds of friends. And they would talk to him, and he'd have somebody to talk to, somewhere to go, something to do. And they would have dances. And one day I come in and he said, "I'm going to a dance tonight." And I said, "No way." I said, "Where are you going to a dance at?" And he said, "Down Pathways." And I said, "Well, what time is it?" And he said, "This evening." So I went to work that morning, and when I was coming home, I met him coming across the tracks up there. And I got out of the car and I said, "Where are you going?" He said, "To the dance." He was all dressed up, and he had a bowl of popcorn in the seat, not covered. He had a jug of tea, not covered. And I said, "Bobby, you should have at least put something over them." He said, "Oh, they'll be all right." So off he went to the dance. And he come home, and I said, "Well, did you have fun?" He said, "I danced my butt off." And it just makes me, it was sort of like a normal life, because he never had a normal life. And, things we take for granted, they didn't have.
Because of our substance abuse problem here in Carter County, it's not something that I like to say, "Hey, I'm from Carter County and we have a substance abuse problem." But we do. and we have to recognize that. And because of that, the services that Pathways Regional Prevention Center and also their Behavioral Health Center, those services that they're able to provide to us are extremely important. Many of our residents cannot afford private practice cost. Some have insurance, some do not. But we need those services that are provided through Pathways. We need to be able to continue to provide the curriculum in our schools so that students get that lesson from the school, from the people that are teaching them how to live life otherwise, that they can live life drug-free. They may not be seeing that at home or in the community with the families that they are associated with. So perhaps that's the only substance abuse prevention message that they are getting. And we depend on Pathways to help us to be able to provide that message to our students. I hate to think what Carter County would look like without the services that are provided by Pathways, especially through our community coalition and our youth coalitions that we're able to provide in the area of substance abuse prevention. We are able, I think, to give our community a hope. And I would hate to see our community without that hope, that we know that we can solve this substance abuse problem. Yes, there are always going to be people who are abusing substances, but let's get a handle on this, and we can do that through the services that Pathways is able to provide. And I think our future is definitely in our youth coalitions, because if our adults have lost hope, then I think our youth coalitions, our youth role models, are the ones that are going to be able to bring that back to us.
Well, very early on, I started out in the Prevention Center, and we wrote a grant to work with youth offenders in the court system and school policy youth that they would break the school policy. And it was a diversion program where we would bring the kids in on a Saturday with their parents. We would screen them and then recommend either education services or treatment as appropriate. Early on in that experience, we had a young girl who came in with her family, and I think it was a marijuana charge. The screening indicated that she was a poly-drug user well into the addiction process. And in the follow-up interview with her parents, we recommended she go to treatment, residential treatment. Oh my gosh. The screaming, she called us names, she called her parents names, she cried, she screamed. It was not a pretty sight. In the end, her parents decided that she was going to treatment at our recommendation. About 6 months later, she called, and it was one of those phone calls you think, I don't know if I want to take it or not, but we did. And she said, I bet you're surprised to be hearing from me. And I was certainly surprised that to be hearing from her in that tone of voice. And she said, I'm out of treatment and into recovery. And one of the things, I had to apologize to my parents for the way that I behaved that day. And now I'm calling to apologize to you. And she said, I just want you to know that you saved my life. And I was hooked. Maybe we can't save them all, but we did save one. And, I couldn't leave after that.